Hey, what's up, family? So, I wanted to share this quick message because I got inspired as I was reading Brene Brown's book. It is titled Atlas of the Heart. If you have not heard of Brene Brown, please look her up. She is phenomenal. So, I'm right in the center of some reading, and one of the messages that she says very clearly is we need hope like we need air. We need hope like we need air. So you might be feeling a state of hopelessness. I think we've all experienced that. Some of you might be feeling that right now. First and foremost, I want to let you know that's temporary. That's not going to last forever. No problem or situation is permanent. This too shall pass. So, but I want you to understand that we all need hope. And this is actually coming out of her book. She talks about how if we don't have a sense of hope, we risk suffocation, right? It is really the ultimate despair that we have. And if you look at a vibrational scale, like I've talked about, different levels of emotion like fear, shame, and grief, and where those are, and where joy and happiness and that is. So when you have a sense of hopelessness, it is one of the lowest ranking emotions on that vibrational scale. So to put this into like terms that you can kind of really connect with is when a person is getting ready to pass away, and they're getting ready to pass on. If we measure their level of vibration or we measure their frequency, many times that is similar to the same type of energy and frequency that hopelessness brings us. Because when you're passing away, you kind of lose that sense and that will to live and that will to kind of work through something and get past it. It feels like it's the end. But I wanted to share this message with you all because, as you know, I've had my ups and downs. And one of the things that I did this year is I got really clear about what I wanted. And I had to hold on to that. I hold on to it daily, so tight, because there's days where in my mind I'll say something to myself like, it's never gonna happen. You see how long it's taking? It's never gonna happen. It's never going to show up. God doesn't see you. God doesn't hear you, right? You missed your opportunity, or you have this guilt, or you have regret, or you have disappointment. Those are all the kind of feelings that help you stay stuck. And having those feelings is not the worst thing in the world. Being aware of them so that we can change them is gold. So when we experience hope, and again, this is coming out of her book, she says we have the ability to set a goal, a realistic goal. Basically, we have vision, like we can actually see past the current situation that we're in. We know where we're going, we know what we want. So I want you to ask yourself, what is it that you really want to experience? Where do you want to be 5 months from now, 6 months from now? How do you want that situation to turn around? And I want you to focus on that, lock in on that, meditate on that, and set goals for yourself, not in one area of your life, because there are going to be times where we struggle in certain areas and we just can't get movement there. That's why it's important for us to set about 8 goals in different areas of our life. So if I don't have movement in this area, I can gain some momentum over here. I might feel like this situation, my financial situation is hopeless, or my relationship situation is hopeless, but I might feel some energy with my educational goals or with my family goals or with my spiritual goals. So that's the balance that we all need. If we're only focusing on one goal, we run the risk of feeling hopeless and disappointment if we don't see progress in that area. And the second thing is, she said it's really important for us to be able to figure out how to achieve those goals. So, you know me, I'm always pushing personal development, self development, interpersonal skills, and just the ability to create a path. So we set a goal for ourselves, or we lock in on something that we want, and then we have to figure out like how am I going to get there? What do I need to develop within myself to run this race, right? To get on course. So I want you to be thinking about, what do you need to build up within yourself? Is it that persistence? Is it that thinking about, so here she says, I can tolerate disappointment and I can try to create a new path. So what's the resiliency like? If this doesn't work, am I able to pivot? Am I able to kind of shift and focus on something else? And then the last piece here is, she said we should have a sense of agency. And basically, that's just a fancy word for a belief system. We have to believe that that situation can change. We have to anchor in on our faith. We have to hope, right? To have that hope and that faith that the situation is not going to be permanent. So we have to make that decision to believe something different than what is actually happening right in front of us. So that sense of agency is like that agency of self-belief. What do you really lock in on? So again, this is just kind of a recap of something I read out of Brene Brown's book. It is called Atlas of the Heart. Keep in mind that we need hope like we need air. And no situation is permanent. It's temporary. And this too shall pass. God bless you all.